Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We begin with the storm watch this afternoon. Light snow showers, flurries move out. With more on that, let's go to meteorologist Kevin Scripper with a full weather forecast.
Burst out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Light snow and flurry activity continues through the afternoon before winding down late in the day in the North Country and early this evening in southern areas. We are watching a weak area of low pressure pass just to our south. Cold enough with temperatures in the 20s to near 30 degrees this afternoon that we will continue to see a very light accumulating snow. Not a tremendous amount of moisture with this, and with temperatures in the 20s, a couple of slippery spots out there this afternoon, mainly on the secondary roads and the untreated surfaces. And then eventually from there, skies will start to clear later this evening, and the temperatures will really fall off later tonight. Single digits above and below zero for most, between 10 and 12 from Manchester to the coast early tomorrow morning. Northwesterly breeze, good deal of sunshine around tomorrow, and we will likely, after a cold start, have the sunshine around to start the day on Wednesday. It is later Wednesday afternoon that the clouds will start to increase. First of a couple of other systems that we will have in the 7-day forecast going forward. Does look like that one will pass just to our west, and much like the last several, may start as a little bit of snow later Wednesday night, but as you'll notice back to the south and west, there is a wintry mix and possibly even rain to contend with very late Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. Light coating to an inch or two in most locations. There could be a couple of spot 3-inch amounts, especially up in elevation, and then notice where temperatures go later on tonight, and that'll mean temperatures tomorrow will likely be in the 20s to near 30. A widespread 1 to 3 inch accumulation. Some spots, a ½ inch to an inch. You get up in elevation, and you could be pushing the 2 to 3 inch amount, especially in southern New Hampshire. There's a little bit of a warming trend as we get our way through midweek. Again, storm system looks to start as snow late Wednesday night and should be wrapping up by mid to late morning on Thursday as either a wintry mix or rain. A couple of other days in between systems before the next one arrives Sunday morning.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. We're following some breaking news in our newsroom right now. Bedford students dismissed early from middle school and high school. Officials determined it was the best interest for students to be dismissed. The Bedford School District dismissed all students at the Ross A. Luxury Middle School and Bedford High School on Monday. In a note to parents, Superintendent Mike said the dismissal was a result of circumstances being addressed by the school district and Bedford police. Further information on the reason for the dismissal will be released, Mike said. The dismissal does not affect McKelvin Intermediate School, Riddle Brook School, Peter Woodbury School, or Memorial Elementary School, officials said. Students who take the bus were dismissed first, followed by student drivers, and then those students who typically picked up by their parents. This is a developing story. Stay tuned for updates as we get more information into our newsroom. Several crashes reported on New Hampshire snowmobile trails. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Several snowmobile accidents over the weekend kept first responders busy. The first accident happening just before noon Saturday in Gorham. When a woman rolled her snowmobile on top of herself, operator inexperience the factor.
These machines are a lot of fun. However, there's no safety equipment on them, so therefore you have to be very careful. You have to treat them with respect.
Then, a little over an hour later, another accident in Guilford. A man hitting an ice ridge on his snowmobile and thrown into the air for about 75 feet, suffering severe injuries. Fishing Game says most accidents do have some things in common.
We see a lot of accidents are generally preventable by if people would just slow down, if they would not drink and drive, as well as if they had the proper safety equipment.
Around 4 o'clock on Saturday in Low and Burbank's Grant, a woman lost control of her snowmobile and struck a tree. Operator inexperience again cited as the cause. While up north there is plenty of snow, especially in southern New Hampshire, conditions are challenging.
The trails are pretty icy right now. We've gotten all the rain down here, which has since frozen, and that has created kind of an icy surface on a lot of these trails.
On Sunday, there were 2 more accidents. Again, operator inexperience cited as a woman operator lost control of her sled. And then later on a lake in Brookline, a man was injured when he lost control of his machine and rolled it on top of himself. He was not wearing a helmet at the time and was med-flighted to the hospital. There was one fatality along the trails. In Bethlehem, 67-year-old John Doherty stopped to assist a fellow rider. Doherty collapsed and was later pronounced dead at the scene. Reporting live in Dunbarton, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. AG woman found dead in Madison died of multiple sharp injuries. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Gene Mackin.
Tonight, the Attorney General has released the autopsy findings in the death of a woman in Madison. Investigators determined 42-year-old Melissa Hatch was stabbed to death. Her death has officially been ruled a homicide. She was found dead Friday evening at a home on Bergdorf Drive in Madison. A juvenile is charged with second-degree murder. The name and relationship are not being released. Neighbors call Melissa Hatch a loving mother and a good friend.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Patriots Julian Edelman wave green flag at Daytona 500. Super Bowl MVP Julian Edelman could feel the buzz at the Daytona 500. Edelman, sporting neatly trimmed facial hair, served as honorary starter and waved the green flag for Sunday's race. The New England Patriots star receiver called NASCAR drivers absolutely insane. Ten-year-old Newmarket boy with rare disease needs new kidney. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
10-year-old Ian Donaldson is happy to be home in Newmarket, relaxing with video games, and he has earned it after spending 2 months at Boston Children's Hospital.
Just be back to somewhat normal life is just great.
Ian is battling an extremely rare kidney disease called post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis, or PSGN.
It's weird, and it's not a place we ever thought we'd be in, but this is our life now.
Just after Thanksgiving, Ian and his mom, Andrea, got strep throat. PSGN is a complication that can develop from strep.
The prognosis is very good for kids. Like 98 to 99% of those kids recover completely.
Unfortunately, Ian's in that very small percentage who don't recover. He's going to Boston 3 times a week for dialysis treatment, but that's not a long-term solution.
His best option for leading a somewhat normal life at this point is getting a kidney transplant.
Andrea will soon learn if she is a match.
I'm really hoping that I can just be the donor and I don't have to ask anyone else to give up anything significant for this.
But if she has to ask, there is help waiting. Family, friends, even strangers across the country have reached out.
I really love it. It's very nice to have all these people doing great things for us.
Ian is back at school, but he still can't be active or play at recess. Mom hopes to change that by the summer. For now, all they can do is wait.
Kind of my only option now.
To feel good. Yes. To move forward.
Move forward
yeah.
And kind of just go with it.
He's got the right attitude and he's a great kid. If you'd like to contact the family about becoming a potential donor, you can visit this story on our website at WMUR.com for contact information.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lawmakers launch new probe into complex web of alleged ties between NRA and Russians. House Democrats expressed concerns about NRA members' 2015 trip to Moscow. A pair of House Democrats are launching a new probe of what they called the complex web of relationships between a number of National Rifle Associations and Russia individuals with close ties to the Kremlin. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast for this evening. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit, and have a great rest of your day, everyone. Goodbye.